All right, so this stream right here, so if you're familiar with the serverless framework, this is their open source repository. And basically, from what I understand, like reading this description is they're wanting to use like the 2.0 payload version for some parts of the code base, but then other parts of the code base use 1.0. And so we're going to try to adjust each scenario locally per function. I think that could be, I could be off there, but that's kind of what I'm understanding from it so far. So to kind of back up and show you how I found like a good issue to start off for, like if you're a beginner, right here you can see see how it says good first issue. That basically just means that if you're new to GitHub, or if you're new to contributing to open source and you're a hobbyist or you work on the side, whatever, this is a good first issue to start with. So let's see. Now, and then the other thing is I found this issue from this link right here. Mungel, awesome for beginners. So I just came down here to JavaScript, and you can see right here at the top, where is it? Serverless somewhere. I thought it was up at the top. Oh, here it is, serverless. So yeah, you can see right here, this top one, it says good first issue. So we'll just go here. And the first thing you want to do if you're contributing to open source is to fork. And so I'm going to go ahead, let's see, siesta. Three six nine eight eight seven. Okay. So from here, this is where we can go ahead and fork their repo into your GitHub account, and then from there you're going to clone down from your terminal. So we'll just go here and select copy, and then we can go into our terminal. And so that's going to bring all the code locally for us to kind of adjust and work with here. So let's see, the first thing, let's go back here. Where? Oh, here we go. So it says on many of our existing AWS Lambdas, we're leveraging V1 of the payload format version. So down here, you can see there's the format version. So they're steadily migrating over to use version 2. And they like to convert individual routes to V2 while still running others on V1. Yeah, so I think that's right then. So they want to slowly move over to V2 while keeping V1 on several of their current functions. residing. They want it all in the same serverless YAML file. So let's do that. Let's first go find the serverless YAML file. And let's see, what's the best way we could do this? Let's open it up in VS Code. Holly, the audio sounds good. I'm pretty sure you're the only watching the stream right now. Let's see. 2 viewers. Okay, so let's see, what was the file that we were looking for? HTTP API. So yeah, so serverless YAML file. Let's go ahead and find that file in here. Oh man, there's quite a few. Okay. So convert individual routes to 2.0 while still running others on V. Okay, so in the same file, some functions will run V2 and some will run V1. Provider, HTTP API payload property. So here's the HTTP API, here's the payload property. Allows you to specify a payload version, but it appears to be for all functions defined in a serverless YAML. So what it's currently doing is it's allowing you to specify a payload for every single function defined in a serverless YAML. So let's open up a serverless YAML file and let's just get an idea of what they're talking about here. So serverless YAML. I'm going to open up this one. This one looks pretty good. So functions. So here's all the functions. But what are they talking about with it being globally 2.0? Let's see. It'd be nice to be able to, oh. It appears to be for all functions defined in the serverless. So HTTP, API, payload. Let's see if there's payload in here. Nope. Serverless YML. Payload, nope. Do this payload. Oops. So down here it says payload format version. Okay. Okay, so in the HTTP API, this is kind of interesting. So they've got a properties object as a data structure here. So they're using the payload format version, which it talks about over here as it being the current solution. But then it's got the user config payload or 2.0. So, okay, here's the test cases. So it expects it to equal 2.0. And then there's some that are expected to be 1. This one's let's do an exact search. No? So provide compile integration. Provider config. Okay, so let's look for this thing right here, HTTP API integration my function. Okay, so this is the proposed solution. It seems like the better solution would be to allow each function to override. Okay, yeah. I agree with that because HTTP API and payload. If you want to run the function Lambda on a different payload format than the global setting. Okay, so we're setting it. So my function, and then these would be the global settings. Okay. So I think what they're trying to do, like we were kind of talking about, is like they're trying to migrate up to hold on, co-founder is slacking me. I'm going to let him know that I'm live right now. Okay, so let's see. Close. The bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. Okay. So payload 2.0, I think what they're trying to do is like if they okay, so I think that payload 2.0, the reason why they're wanting to do this is so that as they bump up to the next major version releases, that they can manage them in like a very controlled way, so that each function doesn't just all of a sudden blow up and not work with the bumps. I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. So current workaround. We're forcing the payload version to be 2.0 on this route because Serverless doesn't appear to honor it. Yeah, so it's an individual route settings thing that they're trying to get around since that's not really an option that's available. So let's go ahead and try to make this happen. So I'm going to open up the code base, and it's a little bit confusing because what's this? I don't know what. It doesn't really seem like any of the serverless or the YAML files are like set up how we're wanting to make things here. Let's see. So handler, this is an example of a bunch of functions. How do you spell relief? Relief. Okay, so Alex, he's basically, he has some interviews right now with Amazon, and he's been working really hard on like getting ready for the coding assessments and stuff. So let's see. SNS multiple filtered right. Okay, so yeah, these are examples of functions, and then there's events. So if we go back over here, so yeah, you can see right here like events and then HTTP API. I wonder if they have any. API, nope. So thanks a lot for the proposal. I believe it makes a lot of sense to expose such option. We'd be happy to accept a PR for this one. I'm kind of confused though, because like, how do we know which functions we need to add HTTP API to? One second, I gotta text my wife real quick. Okay. So seems like the better solution would be to allow each function to override the global. Yep. And so each function, like in every YAML file, I'm kind of confused. Like, I'm confused if they're saying we should be adding HTTP API to every function in YAML files. Payload format. would be nice to be able to specify the payload version. Well, let's do a global search on HTTP API and see if we're already using that. Okay, so this one, for example, this is some markup here. Okay, look at this. So HTTP API, there's special flavored API gateway. Okay, that helps. That makes more sense. Yeah, the serverless framework makes it possible to set up API gateway. I definitely know that, and I've used that feature. HTTP API post path. Okay, so that this is all documentation here. HTTP API. Properties, authorizers, type object. Do they have any events? Okay, here's the YAML files. let's see what other people are saying. So one additional item to add is serverless offline already functions this way. I definitely think there's some clarification that needs to be had here. I get what they're trying to do, and this is, I don't know, maybe this is part of open source, is just a lot of clarification communication, but it's not super clear to me which serverless YAML files, like how do we know if it needs to update to 1 or 2? So like, yeah, we can set it up so it updates to 1 or 2, but like, for example, if we do this, it's 2, so, or right here, 2. I don't know. I'm probably going to sound stupid or something, so whatever. How do we know if the version is bumped to 1 or 2 when adding the refactor? I feel like I'm missing something here, or don't have enough context. Working on this while doing a live stream to help those interested in open source, and any response would greatly help many, well, not many, how many people are watching this? Like 2 people. Those who see this. Are wanting to dive in to open source. Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave that comment. It's a little bit vague, like in my mind, how we're actually going to do this. But it's getting late. I've got to get up kind of early in the morning, start working on the day job stuff. But yeah, it's been fun. Let's do a part 2 of this pretty soon, and as soon as I get a response back, I'll go ahead and sign in and let's get going live, and hopefully give this a thumbs up if you like this format, like this format of doing, open source pull requests and stuff together. So cool. Catch you guys on the other side.